This is Dangote refinery, said to be the largest refinery in Africa. This Dangote refinery you are watching here is occupying a land area of approximately 2,635 hectares, and it is often described as roughly 6 or 7 times the size of Victoria Island in Lagos. Despite these humongous hectares of land that Dangote has occupied, General Tajudeen Olanrewaju has never been on record to have accused Dangote or the people that sold this massive land to Dangote of Hausa-Fulani takeover of Yoruba land or Lagos land. This same General Tajudeen Olanrewaju, who said that he rose to number 3 position in Nigerian military, is angry that Zenko Properties, owned by an Igbo man, bought 6,000 square meters of land in Lagos for property development, saying that that's the example of Igbo takeover of Lagos. This is very shocking that somebody who has such military background could have such mentality. But that raises a lot of questions about the Igbo people in Nigeria. But we are going to show you the same land that Zenko was alleged to have bought, which is less than 1 hectare of land, which begs the question, what is really going on?
That was the Dangote refinery, the largest refinery in Africa, that is occupying about 2,635 hectares of land, of this 6 or 7 times the size of Victoria Island. Dangote was not accused of Hausa-Fulani takeover of Lagos, despite that massive hectares of land that he got to build his refinery. But an Igbo man who got less than an hectare of land to build a property estate, to develop properties in Lagos, a land said to be about 6,000 square meters, has made retired General Tajudeen Olanrewaju to allegedly pen a letter to the Oloto of Oto titled Oloto of Oto, do not sell the land. And it is interesting that we know how this General Olanrewaju introduced himself from what I saw in the letter that is trending on social media. He described himself as former GOC, 3rd Armored Division, former Minister of Communication, former member of the defunct Provincial Ruling Council, former member of the defunct Federal Executive Council of Nigeria, trustee of the Renaissance Petros Heritage Foundation. He said that he was against the sale of 6,000 square meters of prime lagoon front to an Igbo developer. He said that the sale of Otumara land at Costain to an Igbo developer by the present Oloto of Oto, Oba Mohammed Bashir Abisoye Adesanya Arokunsha II is not right. And he went on to educate the Oloto that he knows Nigeria better than the traditional leader. And this is an excerpt from his letter, his alleged letter. He said, as one who has reached the highest height of power in the country as a member of the former Provincial Ruling Council, as a former GOC, former communication minister, and effectively number 3 in command, I believe I can come out firmly that I understand this country far better than the Oloto, and I appreciate the importance of protecting what belongs to us. Now, you can see how he presented himself. He is somebody who had been in the military, rising to number 3 position in the country, because that was during the military regime. But he said, I understand the country. It means that my interpretation is that he is telling the Oloto that, look, I don't totally believe in this unity of Nigeria that people talk about. Maybe that's what you are looking at Nigeria as one country. That all Nigerians are the same. That is not true. I have seen it all. I was number 3 before. So I can be able to tell you this country is not what you are saying. That's my interpretation. I may be wrong. But it shows you the depths of hypocrisy of the Nigerian elite when they talk about that they believe in one Nigeria. They believe in indivisible Nigeria. These are the same people that are angry with this Kemi Badnosh because of what she has said about Nigeria and immigration and all that. This is because if you look at Kemi Badnosh and look at it, in Nigeria, you can't even be accepted as one, as being the same in Lagos. So what moral rights do people have to condemn Kemi Badnoch saying that Nigerians don't deserve to be given citizenship in UK? What's the difference? But that is aside. But the issue is this. We are going to look at the piece of land that was bought by Zenko Properties. Zenko Properties is what is causing this alleged hysteria. Okay? Zenko Properties was the reason why all this outrage is going on, because Zenko is owned by an Igbo man, and Olanrewaju is offended that an Igbo man was given this land in Lagos. And the land that Zenko bought is just 6,000 square meters, alleged to have bought. It's just about 6,000 square meters. Just about 6,000 square meters. You have to understand, if you calculate it in hectares, it's about 0.06 hectares. It's not up to a hectare. But Olanrewaju is angry. He's painting it as Igbo takeover of Lagos. But Dangote buying 2,635 hectares. He wasn't offended by it. It wasn't a takeover as far as he was concerned. But that of Zenko was Igbo takeover that need to be stopped to protect Yoruba heritage, to protect Lagos heritage. Okay, that it is very troubling. But let us see these Zenko properties so that you can compare the size of Zenko Properties alleged purchased land that is causing this hysteria. Just watch.
This is the land alleged to have been bought by Zenko Properties, a company owned by an Igbo businessman. This property is less than a hectare of land, but this is the land that General Olanrewaju is alleged to be offended that it was sold to an
Now,
Igbo man
compare
at alleged cost of
Zenko
15 billion naira, and
property,
he's telling the
this
traditional leader
land you
who
saw
has
now. They
facilitated the
say
sale to retain the money back to the Igbo man,
it's
accusing
ancestral
the
land
man
and
of
all
supporting
that.
takeover
That's what
by
Olanrewaju
the Igbos.
is claiming,
But he has nothing to say about
that ought to
Dangote
be
that got
preserved
2,635 hectares of land
and
in
left
Lagos, and he didn't accuse
and
him
not being sold to an
of
Igbo.
Hausa-Fulani takeover
Perhaps
of
if it was
Lagos.
sold to another
This is the
person,
land
perhaps he
where what
wouldn't be
is
offended.
this
He
is the
wouldn't
land
have to
for which I
write the
saw the
lengthy
letter
episode that I've
alleged to
seen
have
on
been
social
written
media.
by General
But
Olanrewaju
compare these
requesting
two
to
pieces of
why an
land.
Igbo
If you are
will
talking
sold
about people taking
an
over,
ancestral land to
you
develop
should be talking
property,
about somebody who
despite the
acquired
fact that he knows
2,635
that
hectares
would
of
have been a
land.
good investment for Lagos State.
Size area that has been quoted to about 6 to 7 times the size of Victoria Island was acquired by one person from Kano. General Olanrewaju is not offended. I have not seen any letter on social media he wrote criticizing that acquisition. I do know that there was people who claim to be original owners of the land where the refinery is located. That came to the front burner when Aliko Dangote himself allegedly said that he paid $100 million to acquire that 2,635 hectares of land where his refinery is located. Okay? After he said that, some indigenous people who, who are claiming ancestral ownership of the land said that the Lagos state government did not give them any money out of the $100 million that was paid for the land for the refinery. We have not heard much about it. That was the last I heard about any kind of issue concerning Dangote's acquisition of 2,635 hectares of land to build his refinery. I never saw anywhere where anyone has claimed that that is a classic case of non-indigens taking over Lagos. Please, if you have heard of any other in terms of that land, let's hear from you at the comment section. How do you interpret this, and what does this mean when we say that we believe in one Nigeria, but we can't accommodate one another? We keep raising divisions where there should be none. Zenko and Aliko Dangote, they are all Nigerians. They have a right to purchase land anywhere in Nigeria, as long as there is a willing seller and willing buyer. As long as nobody sold any land under coercion, that they didn't put gun on anybody's head and force the person to sell his property. As long as there are willing buyers and there are willing sellers, Nigerians should be able to acquire properties and develop it anywhere in this country. And for crying out loud, the refinery of Dangote is benefiting every Nigerian who is involved with it, directly or indirectly. Zenko Properties, if they develop an estate in that place, in that piece of land, I'm sure thousands of people will be employed in the execution of that project, many of them Lagosians. I'm sure that Zenko, who is alleged to have paid 15 billion naira for just 6,000 square meters, has contributed to the economy of Lagos. 15 billion put out as payment is therefore circulating in the economic development of Lagos. You are not talking about the money he's also going to put into that project, the labor that will be employed, the materials that will be bought, the multiplier effect is enormous to the growth and development of Lagos. That should be the angle to look at that project, instead of looking at it from the parochial and ethnic perspective that General Olanrewaju is looking at it. But whatever is your position, what is your view about all this antagonism against Igbo developers in Lagos compared to other nationalities who are also doing business in Lagos? What is the message that these Lagosians and their government are trying to pass to the Igbo people? And how does that show that Nigeria truly wants one country? And also, how do you equate a situation where somebody who rose to the level by his own assessment of number 3 position in Nigeria, who ought to be drumming for unity, is antagonistic to an Oloto who, by his agreeing to sell the land, shows that he believed that all Nigerians are the same and they share the same destiny in one country. But whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.